You straight up cuckooed that dude, bro. Oh my God.
You've got all your Charger gear on because
I look good. I got big energy every day. Let's go!
And he is dicked.
Blind squirrel finds a nut every once in a while.
That's right.
You have to love what you're seeing on tape if you're a Chargers fan, especially for the future with Justin Herbert.
On the move and throws and touchdown.
Boy, come on, Herbert.
Players, coaches, staff, fans, together we can create something truly special.
Stay tuned for some good content.
Well, hey there, everybody. Welcome back to the Charger Chat. I'm your co-host, Wolldog, sitting with my buddies, Kev, Hug, and Duggan.
What's up, boys?
Hey, and Kyle, the coach, Duggan.
Mahalo, bros.
Hey,
Hello.
my tomato brother. How are you?
How's that Hawaiian sun treating you?
Got me good. Dude, today we went golfing in the rain and I got sunburned. I don't know how that even happened. Yeah. It was raining the whole time and I'm sunburned.
I thought it rained suntan lotion. No, is that not a thing?
Yeah.
I guess not. All right.
I wish, yeah.
Well, folks, week 2 preseason in the books. Didn't necessarily go the way that we wanted it, but still plenty to take in and talk about. I mean, there's some positives, there's some takeaways, there's some judging that we'll be doing on
I'm
some
ready
of these
to do
players.
some
Oh
of that
boy,
shit.
Kevin is, he is locked and loaded and ready to go. But first, looking back to last week, we wrapped up our joint practice with the San Francisco 49ers. Anybody that saw or kept an eye on social media saw that we had a pretty sweet practice with these guys. In fact, Justin Herbert had a great couple of days of practice. So much so, the opposing team's news media had a couple things to say. Apparently, 49ers Sports Talk tweeted out, all this dude does is throw dimes in regards to Justin Herbert. Mad respect for Justin Herbert. Like, he's insanely accurate. Wow.
That's the opposing team's media department.
Right.
That's nuts.
Which, from my understanding, and I don't know how true this is, but the guy that writes for the 49ers used to write for the Chargers. So I think he's got a little bit of like wistfully like looking in our direction, going like, God, he's so good. I wish I could write about him.
What could have been?
Yeah, it was a great practice. The Chargers defense was picking off Jimmy Garoppolo all over the place. According to Kyle Posey of Niners Nation, Chargers players mocked Jimmy Garoppolo after a difficult end to an offensive series, saying they pay him too much in San Francisco and other things that weren't fit to print.
This defense is a bunch of dogs, dude. It's like, we'll get into it later, but like, this is a different mentality, a different thing. So I like that they're chirping it up a little bit, getting his head a little bit.
Absolutely. I mean, how can you not get excited about Derwin James getting a pick 6 to finish out training camp? Like, it just grabbing it, and he was who was he guarding? It was the tight end, Kittle.
Yeah, Kittle.
Little Kittle.
Yeah, Little Kittle guarding Little Kittle. Plucked it right out of the air and ran it back for a 99-yard pick 6. I mean, that was pretty damn.
And that
impressive.
was the last play of practice. That was like, all right, guys, we're done. This is it.
Yeah.
Pick 6. And it carried over a little bit into the game.
A little bit. That's right.
Bit.
We'll get into that. And in fact, it was catching the eyes of other athletes from other sports, particularly King James. LeBron James tweeted out something about them James boys. Happy to see you back healthy again and doing what you do best, DJ.
So is he a Charger fan? Is LeBron
I gotta imagine.
James, I feel like he might be a Charger fan. I haven't seen him tweet anything about any other NFL teams. Have you?
I think there's been
I can
that
neither
kind
confirm nor deny.
Yeah, I think
let's just confirm. It's easier that way. Let's just confirm. Get on the same page.
We're gonna go all in. Sure.
All in. Yeah. He's
why not?
Number one fan.
I don't know. Well, let's not go that far. We all know that that's Karen. Karen loves sports.
Sorry, Karen.
But yeah, I think that the Chargers have gone to LA Laker games and they've been supporting of the LA Lakers. So I think this is just, a give and take, hey, you scratch our back, we'll scratch yours kind of thing. And what better than from LeBron frickin' James?
That's
like
a
to
big
get
deal.
That kind of
that's cool. It's
cool.
The beginning of like the media that's rolling, that's trying, the fan base and everything helping with that. So it's exciting that happened. That was really cool.
Absolutely. Big time. All right. So taking a look now at the last preseason game, didn't go quite our way. We're not totally bummed about it because it is preseason. We still want to see wins from these guys. We still want to see our backups go out there and perform well enough to get those wins. But it ended up being what it was. But the one thing that we were super excited about, I mean, it absolutely made our day. Can't express this enough. The winner of our preseason tickets, Ryan Toledo, represented the Charger Chat over at SoFi Stadium. And man, it took photos with the posters saying, like, we love you, Charger Chat, and K love you, bye. There was a K love you, bye poster in SoFi.
It made my day. I felt like I was there.
Can you believe it?
I felt like I was there.
I could not wrap my head around it. That absolutely made my day. Ryan, I hope you had a good time and took care of those seats for us. We really do appreciate it.
Thanks, brother.
All right, but now let's take a look at the game itself. We'll look at both sides of the ball, offense and defense. Let's start on the defensive side and just kind of give our takes, our perspectives. Kyle, the coach Duggan, what was it that you saw defensively in that game that stood out to you?
Yeah, creating turnovers, right? We had 2 picks.
2 picks, yes.
Even though they were both like baubles that ended up in our hands and was pretty much a given. They were given to us. It's still a big deal to create turnovers. It could have been, that game could have been a lot more out of hand if it wasn't for those couple of interceptions that we were able to force. And the other thing is some of these guys that I didn't really think a whole lot about or didn't know a lot about before the season. They had big games. Like, they were all over the place. Nick Neiman and Cole Christensen, both those backup backers, had great games. It was fun watching them fly around the field. And Kyler Fackrell was in the quarterback's face a lot of pressure. So those were just, as I watched the game, those are some of the things that stood out the most as far as like the positives to take away from the game.
Absolutely. How about you there, Kev?
It was weird for me because usually, like, I'm always worried about what's going to happen on defense. And this game, I was worried about what was going to happen on offense. Like, I had complete and utter confidence that the defense was going to either stop them, create a big play, or have a turnover. And I think Staley feels the exact same way. You saw how he treated the end of that game, where even in the booth, they were talking about, like, let's just run this clock out. Let's get out of here. Like, Dan Fouts was kind of being a little, calm down. I know you need to get home for bedtime, man. Dan. I love you, but we want to see what's going to happen here. But the fact that he called the timeout, he kept giving his defense the opportunities, and it kept happening. There were a couple plays that Lemonier. He's the one that kind of, I feel like he had 2 big penalties that changed our ability to kind of win that game if that was in the cards. That was gone with those 2 big penalties.
Right.
So I just love to see how that defense played together. They were excited. They were running around. You could see, like, Derwin James on the field when those interceptions happened. Joey Bosa talking about how awesome they did. And these are like the back of the roster guys. To see this defense, to see how the new philosophy, the new scheme, even these back end guys. And keep in mind, they were playing against their number 1 quarterback. They don't haven't decided who their quarterbacks are. They were playing against the number 1 quarterback pretty much that whole freaking game, and they did what they did. They held them to 15 points. Should have been 13. Thank you, Trey Pipkins.
Yeah. I think defensively, I think you guys just hit a lot of the nails on the head. I think it kind of opened our eyes into how well our second and third string guys can perform right now. I think from my opinion, I think we're looking really good, but I feel like there was still a fair amount of miscommunication out there, and I don't know if that's due to there were penalties. I don't know if that's due to scheme change. If it's just if the scheme is so much different that it's taking these guys some time to adjust. But with all the success stories that we've heard from practice, I can't imagine that that's the case. So
it was interesting with, like, the penalties and some of those mishaps. Like, if you look at those penalties, I went back and looked at them again. Most of those were aggression-based penalties.
Right.
They were big hits. They were, really big blocks that got called for personal fouls. Like, those were the kind of penalties. They were mental errors, but it's fun football mental errors. It was effort penalties.
Right.
That was the difference that I saw. It was, and I could see it in the referee's eyes when that game started. Those motherfuckers were ready to call some penalties. They were calling a lot all over the place.
That's what the preseason is for, especially when they make changes of some of these rules. They have to call them just so that it's like a point of emphasis throughout the preseason. So that's just part of preseason. And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if you win or lose. But I think defensively, we saw good things.
Definitely.
As a fan base, you're excited about the defense.
Absolutely.
The offense and the special teams, were a little bit more difficult to watch.
Well, let's use that as our segue. Offensively, let's take a look at what was going on that side. Kev, what stood out to you on the offensive side?
Besides the beginning, there was one big throw by Easton Stick that was like, oh, great, he's got touch. There was that. The whole second half, like when they really pulled out, because I think Filer was playing a little bit, Abushi was in there. As soon as those two guys got pulled out, this is over. This is like the offensive line they couldn't hang. Right. And I felt like there were some higher level 49er players, Topper, and the depth chart guys playing against them, and they just couldn't hang. I don't know why Trey Pipkins is even on this team.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to make the roster. I really don't think he'll make the team. He played so bad.
The regression that we've seen from him, getting beat, giving up a safety.
Dude, on that safety, he didn't even, the pass rush, but wasn't even a move.
No, he just got lowered his shoulder.
Yeah. That was it. It wasn't even like a big pass rush move he didn't have to do anything. He just ran right around him. That was bad. I can't imagine that Pipkins makes the roster, to be honest.
I have way more confidence in Braden Hymas. Like he had a great, he played all over the line.
And Storm Norton.
And Storm Norton had a much better game than Pipkins.
Yeah.
And, they had Pipkins on the right, on the left. They had him all over the place. So I think that that affected everyone else's play. The running backs, we can't get excited about any of the running backs this week because the offensive line. We couldn't get excited. We can't get too excited up or down on any of these quarterbacks because of the offensive line. They didn't have enough time. There was this dunk throw stuff. They never had time to let routes develop. They just didn't have it. So what I took away from the offense on this game is the offensive line. We can't get hurt. This can't happen. You know what I mean? We need to stay healthy, or we need to get rid of some of these guys and bring in some new blood, because it's concerning. It is concerning.
Yeah. Big time. How about you, Kyle? Was there anything else offensively that stood out to you?
I think that the backup quarterback is a competition. I thought after last week, it was like, oh yeah, Chase Daniel's the guy. It's not really even, I don't know if it's up for debate. I don't. After this last game, man, he looked really bad. He didn't really complete any ball that was worth anything. Easton at least has legs to be able to run and create plays,
make stuff happen. Yeah,
and I'm not saying that Easton's gonna get the job. I just think this third game is gonna be big for what happens in that. Who's the number 2 guy? Because I think Chase Daniel had the first game, but I do think Easton Stick outperformed him here in the second game. It wasn't that great. It still wasn't awesome, but I think he played better.
And something you need to remember too is like you look at the depth, the offensive line depth, where who was in front of Easton Stick and who was in front of Chase Daniel. And I think that was also not fair really to Chase Daniel, because the week before he started with he had Rashawn Slater for some of his big throws protecting his blind side. So I think if anything, this game showed that what are these guys capable of doing without the star players? And I think Easton Stick did a little better than him. And what does that mean that he's going to get it? Not necessarily. Are we planning on any of these guys playing? No, that is the absolute worst case scenario. And who's going to help better develop our boy Jay Herbo? That's the question.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head. And honestly, like I don't even know how big of a debate it needs to be. When we had 3 quarterbacks last year, we had Easton Stick and Tyrod Taylor and Justin Herbert. I don't know how big of a deal it is going into this year having Herbert, Daniel, and Stick. Like, I think regardless of the position order,
people are talking about possibly keeping 2. Not all teams keep 3 quarterbacks on their roster.
Yeah, no, I don't hold it out of the realm of possibility, but like I'm not all that really concerned about it until the time comes time for them to release the roster. So as far, I don't want to get. I personally,
I just think it makes it more fun to watch. Like it's a fun battle to watch.
Absolutely,
and I think it's all going to come down to this week 3. So it'll be fun to see who shows up, where they play who, and see who kind of takes it.
Yeah, we'll find out the next preseason game. But yeah, offensively, I mean, the thing that stands out is that offensive line. Boy, when it's the second half, it just turns into Swiss cheese. Like you're just watching it. It's just like, is there even anybody standing there? Or are these just mannequins? They're just letting guys walk by?
The Niners just look dominant.
But it feels unfair to the offensive line because Trey Pipkins was so bad. There was so much pressure from his side every single play. If you go back and watch that game, he did not hold up his end of the bargain. So therefore, the other guys are looking bad because of him.
Right.
He's a player that's bringing people down. He's not elevating anyone.
Well, speaking of the offensive line, Jeff Miller tweeted out from the Los Angeles Times regarding the struggles of offensive tackles Trey Pipkins and Storm Norton today versus the 49ers. Chargers coach Brandon Staley said, "I think those two guys got a really accurate picture of where they're at."
Awful.
Yeah.
So bad. The thing is, he doesn't have to say anything.
That's all he has to say.
We saw it.
I think today was an accurate representation of how shit they are. Is basically what he said.
Insert shit right there.
Oh man, that would hurt as a player to hear that.
But that's an interesting way Coach did it, though. It's an interesting way Coach did it. He didn't like harp on him. He's like, they know what they did wrong. They know how shitty they fucking are now.
Ask them.
Yeah.
It didn't blow smoke either, going like, they played their hearts out there. They did their best out there, and it didn't quite go our way, but we have faith in these guys as our backups or whatever. It didn't give any bullshit. It was just like, I think they know where they're at. Like it just like they understand how poorly they played. I mean, and especially Pipkins. Like I hate kicking Pipkins in the nuts because I know that, well, I don't know, but I would assume that he is trying his hardest out there. It's just not good enough.
Look like it.
No, it just doesn't. It's not to the level that we need somebody to play in that position.
And it's just so frustrating that we spent such a high draft pick on him, and he's like,
it's still baffling.
I mean, the potential they were hoping for, they're not even in the same ballpark. They're not even the same solar system of what this guy's capable of doing. And he's so consistent. You know what I mean? Like, that's the one thing he's got going for him. He is consistently bad.
Right.
He's consistently
what
bad.
you're going to get.
You know what you're going to get with him. And
but that should make it easy to cut him. It's not like he's like, oh, he had a great game here, but he's not doing great here. It's like Badgley. Like Badgley's like, well, he can be good, but he's not all the time.
Right.
Whereas Pipkins is just like, you consistently suck. How are you on this team right now?
Yeah, seriously.
Well, I think that will be the interesting thing to see, because I don't know whose decision it was necessarily to get Pipkins. Anybody that has been a fan long enough to remember the draft when we got Pipkins, it was that draft pick in the 3rd round where even the commentators were just like, Trey Pipkins from do we have film on this guy? Like, I don't know. Like, there was just confusion. Like, they just had no idea. He was not on anybody's radar. So if it was any of the previous coaching staff that like chose Pipkins and said, like, this is the guy, we need to bring him in, there's nobody to save him anymore. It's an entirely new coaching staff that understands what our needs are, and if Trey Pipkins can't fit that, then I'm sorry, Trey, but it is what it is.
I don't want to be negative, but I'd be very happy to see him not on our team. Like, we're not usually like that here, but I would really be more adverse to happiness having him gone.
Yeah, we'll find out what ends up happening. I mean, I'd like to think that he could turn it around, but it's been too much, and we've had too many seasons where like he's had that opportunity.
I'd rather keep what was that guy's, the nose guard that played with the backups there at the end? Farrell?
Yeah, Forrest
Merrill, yeah.
Hell yes. That guy's awesome.
Sign me up for a whole bunch of that.
Dude, one play, they threw a little screen and he was like sprinting out to the side. I'm like, he's going to kill someone. He's going to kill someone.
The momentum is
big.
Yeah, what is it? Like, speed and mass equals you getting murdered.
Death.
Yeah.
Science, folks.
Yeah.
Science.
Speed and mass equals death.
We tried real hard to do science there. And speed and mass. And
Speed plus mass equals
dead.
All right. Well, enough about that game, folks. So we need to talk to you about, we've got a new segment that'll be coming up on this Friday episode. I'm really excited to share with you guys. We all are, quite frankly. We're excited to welcome Mike Maudlin, a.k.a. Supercharger on Twitter, to the team. He's going to be hosting a segment called Bolt History, which I need personally.
I want more of it.
I need some Bolt History. Mike has been a lifelong fan who has followed the team since the 70s. For those of you who have recently become fans of the Chargers, this will be a great segment for you. We are excited to learn about the history of our Chargers. Make sure to check out the first installment this Friday.
It's going to be awesome. And we're just excited that, we have people that listen to the podcast are like, hey, man, I want to try and do this. And then he sent us a video of like what he was thinking. We're like, let's go.
It was pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's fun. He's he's just a really funny, cool guy. So I think we'll get some great, fun stories from Charger history.
Yeah. I mean, my fandom started, from Phillip Rivers on. So anything prior to that is like, I don't know. Like, I'd love to hear some little tidbits and stories about the Chargers. So check it out this Friday. Little Bolt history with Mike Modlin. And also, folks, don't forget to go to chargerchat.com to check out some of the sweet merch we have. Kevin's got a beauty of a shirt going right now. And I think, Kyle, you've got one too, don't you? Look at that. Look at those mugs. Let's go, folks. So, yes, if you want to wear some sweet gear, get some stickers or anything like that, go to chargerchat.com. And we also created a member section on our page. A lot of you have already joined, and the group chats have already started. Please feel free to head over there and sign up. We will start hitting up some of our members for Fan Focus interviews there in the future. So go on over to chargerchat.com. But now, folks, it's time to go on to our next segment. It's Coach's Corner.
Great moments are born from great opportunity.
All comes down to today.
You take this helmet and you put it right in his numbers, okay? I want to see nothing but snot bubbles in his nose.
A lot of people want to blame coaches for a lot of things.
Nobody puts coaches
trade up.
And we shut them down because we can.
Because I believed in you.
And I wish I could say something that was classy and inspirational, but it just wouldn't be our style.
Let's do it.
That's right, folks. It's time for another Coach's Corner. And we reach into the bag of questions and we pull out an old favorite of ours, Okie Doggy, who asked the question. Seeing how the running back room is shaping up and the fact we only have enough room for 3, maybe 4 running backs, I want to ask this question to Coach Duggan. Is it better to have running backs who have similar run styles, or is it better to have different types of backs? What are the benefits and downsides for each situation? The reason I ask is because I feel like behind Austin Eckler, we have 3 similar running backs, and then we have Justin Jackson, who is very twitchy and is very good in the passing game, but who can't stay healthy for long. I just want an offense that can not only pass the ball efficiently, but run it effectively as well. I don't want to see this team play like the Bills from last year where they couldn't run the ball at all.
Sam Elliott. That was a Sam
That was
Elliott.
my Coors, the banquet beer. Yeah, that's. I think that's an interesting point, Okie Doggy. We've heard about different running back styles. The run downhill type, the Ford F-150 versus the Ferraris. And Austin Eckler has been that kind of Swiss Army knife, I guess, as far as running backs go, because he's been great on the run and on the little check down passes. So. What do you think there, Coach, as far as different running back styles? Is it good to have a plethora? Is it better to just, is one better than the other? What do you think?
I think nowadays you're always aiming for the guy that can do all of it. You don't want a specialist because you become predictable, right? So when you have certain guys in that only specialize in doing a certain thing, a defense can anticipate more than likely what's going to be coming. When Eckler's in the ball game, you don't know if he's pass blocking, running the ball, or catching the ball. You don't know what he's doing because he can do everything at such a high level.
Mm-hmm.
So from a personnel perspective, you want that. You want that diversity so that you can keep the defense on their toes. Now, there are times when you're predictable, and that's okay, as long as you're better than the other team. So if you're going to have specialists that do one thing, they have to be so good at that one thing. So I do think that it's good to have some versatility. But I think that all of our backs have, even the ones further down on the depth chart, they all have little intricacies that are unique. Like Eckler's your all around guy that does everything, but then they all are a little bit better at one thing than the other. So you do have some susceptibility to being predictable, but yeah, I don't think there's any, like, I don't think they're looking at it as hey, I need a heavy back, I need a pass catching back, and I need a guy that can run the ball in between the tackles really well. I think you're ideally you're looking for a guy that can do all of it at a really high level. They're not laying around. So sometimes you got to piece that together with your running back core. And I think we have the pieces to be able to be that. Like Roundtree is a big guy that's strong, but he's not just a bruiser that's going to put his head down and not make catches out of the backfield and have big time runs. So I think we have guys that are pretty pretty well-rounded. Justin Jackson, great ball carrier, great pass catcher. Roundtree, the same. Obviously, Eckler's one of the best in the league. It's just a matter of our last guy. If we need that F-150, I don't think it's going to be a necessity. I think Roundtree will be able to effectively consume that role and still be able to do other things too.
So do you think the odd man out in that situation, based on what you said, Bradwell might be the odd man out?
I think so. Just potentially. If they believe in Justin Jackson's ability to stay healthy, I think Bradwell is the odd man out. But if Jackson's already hurt before the season, I think you could see those two flip-flop.
It is kind of fun. Bradwell ran a couple times this last game, and he's powerful, man. He doesn't have all those other things, but you need a yard or two. Line him up, let him go. Right. He lined up in the I formation, I think, once behind Anderson, one of our tight ends, and got that first down. So it's hard though. It's gonna be hard to say. This is a good time to be a Charger fan because there's so many good players. It's gonna be hard for these coaches to decide what we're gonna do.
Yeah,
absolutely. All right. Well, yeah, knowing how well these guys like players that can play in multiple positions on the defensive side, probably wouldn't mind that on the offensive side as well in the running back room. So. Excellent. All right. Well, there you go. Okie doggy. Coach took a look at your question in his corner, and now it's time to go on to our next segment. It's Fan Focus.
All right, guys, we're back with another Fan Focus, and we are super pumped to have the one and only Coach Lago. What's up, Coach Lago?
What's up? Happy to be here. What's up, man?
Awesome. We're so pumped to have you. We appreciate you always being involved with the podcast and sending us awesome questions for Wool Dog to say some crazy stuff. So thanks for coming on and being on a Fan Focus.
Hell yeah. It's hella fun, man. I love it. I love the pod. You know, what you do today might burn your butt tomorrow. You know what I'm saying?
Love it. So let's kick this bad boy off. You know the drill, man. How did you become a Charger fan?
Yeah. So you guys will have to forgive me. I grew up in NorCal. So I was actually a Niners fan as a youngin'. It was hard not to be with Steve Young, Jerry Rice, those guys. Sure. They were awesome. But my dad has always been a Chargers fan, Eric Coryell. And then when I really decided to start watching football, you know, it was Breeze, LT, Gates, and then Rivers came in. And man, I love Rivers, man. I wish we could have got him a freaking ring. He's I love Herbert, but Rivers will always be QB1 for sure.
He's in there. He's in the heart.
Yeah. So once I started following, it was all Chargers. There's not a ton of us up here in NorCal. It's growing, obviously, but wanted something different. Everybody was Niners fans, and my dad being close to the Chargers, and how can you not love the powder blues? You know what I mean? So
for sure.
Yeah. Just been diving in since.
That's awesome. Yeah. Same with Kyle and I. My dad is the reason for the season. That's why we're Charger fans. So we're on the same page. So let's get into a little bit about the season, man. Like, we just got done with training camp. What has been, we've seen all the stuff on social media. There's like Derwin just had a pick 6 at the last joint practice. Like, there's a lot of stuff going on. What was one video or one thing that popped up on Twitter that you were like, yes, I love this team?
Man, everything, man. I don't know. Everything's exciting right now. We got the new coaching staff. As a coach, got a huge crush on Staley. How can you not? The culture that's there right now. He obviously knows his stuff as far as X's and O's. The culture feels different in the sense like it's not, Lynn was old school, and I think he did a lot of good things, and you could tell he cared about the players.
For sure.
But it's a different vibe, right? Like Staley's, I came here with a plan, and you guys, we're professionals. Let's go get it done. And you could tell the guys are buying in. So, man, just everything. I don't know. It all kind of culminated with the preseason game. I was sitting there watching, and obviously Coach's Classroom on Friday was awesome. Just sitting there watching, and I don't know. Have you seen the new Suicide Squad yet?
Not yet.
So there's a scene, without giving away the movie, there's a scene where Harley Quinn is just messing people up, and they go like full comic book behind her, and there's like flowers busting out of her.
Yeah.
That was me watching the preseason game, but instead it was the Bolt emojis, the smiley faces. They were just flying. I was like, man, I've been waiting for this for so long.
Dude, that defense, I can't even tell you how excited I was. Like, the first series, I was like, what am I watching? Is this real life? Is this football? Right? Is this Charger football now?
Kaiser White blows somebody up. Tranquil comes on a screen. We gave up some plays, which is going to happen, but even in the second half, like Brandon comes through with that pick on the goal line.
Yeah.
I just feel like Staley and this new staff the floor of our players is way higher because they want to put players in a position where they're going to be successful. They're going to adjust to the players versus the players got to fit into the scheme. And like I said, just as a coach, man, I love that stuff. That's freaking awesome. It's so much fun to watch. And the offense, dude, the offense had like what, a 21-play drive to open. Yeah. Like, come on, man, I'm all about it.
I'll take it. They're and I love that this idea that they're competing with each other. And we haven't even seen Herbert in that situation yet. So
right.
This idea of this offense is like they're iron sharpening iron. This is just going to be an awesome team this year.
And the draft class, man, I mean, I haven't heard a bad thing about anybody out of this class. Everything I've heard has been good. I mean, they're talking about how good Webb looks. You know, McKitty's probably the one I've heard the least about, and I've still heard good stuff.
Sure.
Hymas is out there. Freaking Neiman was flying around last Saturday. Almost said Sunday, but yeah, man, the class looks great. Everything's good, man. The Twitter community, as we were talking about, is rocking and rolling right now. It's a great time to be a Chargers fan, man. Great time.
Absolutely. So what are you most looking forward to this season? You going to go to a game? What are we doing?
For sure. I am determined to be there against the Cowboys opening day.
Let's go. We'll be there too, man. Let's do this.
Hell yeah. I'm definitely going to hunt you guys down for sure.
Let's do it.
Yeah, it's just going to be, I think it's going to be fantastic, man. You only get opening day at a stadium like that once. And
the
hype around the team that we were just talking about. I'm going to be there. I'm taking the pops. We're going. I'm figuring it out for sure.
Right on, man. Well, hey, dude, thank you so much for your time, Ryan, a.k.a. Coach Lago. We look forward to your questions every week, so keep them coming, brother. We really appreciate your time.
For sure, man. It's been a lot of fun. Like I said, the pod is awesome. I look forward to Tuesdays and Fridays every week, and Wolldog's voices. That's awesome, man.
Chef's kiss.
It's so good. So good.
All right, brother. Well, thank you so much again for your time, and we'll talk to you soon.
Absolutely. Bolt up. Okay, love you. Bye.
Okay, love you. Bye.
Damn, Coach. You love me. You really love me.
God. Who doesn't?
Oh, man. That was just warmed the cockles of my heart. Thank you, Coach Lago.
Great word. Cockles. That's
cockles. Not used enough. Yeah, man. A lot to be excited about for this team. And this draft class, I mean, he's right. Like this draft class, like there's not anybody that has been mentioned that you've just been like,
yeah, let's hear about him.
I mean, honestly, like looking at this last game, that touchdown that we gave up between Mark Webb and Neiman, that was the one thing that was just like, okay, obviously there was a bit of miscommunication, but like not enough to make me go like, well, terrible draft pick, like, throw him out in the road.
But then he
had
like a sack or a tackle in the backfield. So it's like it's just a little mix of Neiman was the reason why a couple of those got blown up in the last game, but it's okay. We'll forgive it.
We will forgive him.
But Coach Lago was amazing, dude. He's like a basketball coach too. So you got some coach, something in common.
Swords crossing.
Crossing the stream. Excellent. Thank you for showing up, Coach Lago. We appreciate it. And yeah, we do appreciate your questions every week.
See you at SoFi for this Cowboys game.
Damn Skippy, my friend. All right. Well, now it's time to go over to our next guy. We see him every Tuesday. You know him, you love him. It's the Craig Experience.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Come on in, man. Kick your feet up.
Oh.
Craig Experience.
Hello there.
Make yourself at home. Got some stuff to talk about, right? Moving on.
Well, that was colorful. Not sure there's a whole lot to glean from a game where the majority of the cats taking really like second half snaps are the back of the roster cats and or potential practice squad guys. So with that being said, let's get into it a bit, shall we? CC gang. Salute, and to the rest of the Bolt fam, what is going on? It's your guy Craig in Texas, and welcome to another edition of the Craig Experience. Week 2 of the preseason, and yeah, interesting game, to say the least. Really quickly, offense, provided what was out there. Just kind of got to take it for what it is. Easton Stick, just not a pocket QB. Even when he has time, he panics and his mechanics go to crap. When we're talking Chase Daniel, I mean, he didn't do a whole lot to help himself. But I mean, again, Chase was kind of brought in to be an aid to Joe Lombardi in helping Jay Herbo adjust to the offense with his experience in the Saint system. But I think we were all pretty much expecting, and I don't know that to say that we can anymore, that he was going to be QB2, but what we all know is if anything were to happen to Jay Herbo, God forbid, we got some issues. So let's not even think like that. Moving on to the defense, I saw a lot of things that I liked again this week. I will tell you one thing, though. I am a bit triggered watching Jerry Tillery on the sideline practicing his squat form while K9 is out there getting reps with second and third team guys, and Drew Tranquil is running down on kick coverage. I needed to make it make sense. You got a first-round draft pick who's done little to nothing in his first 3 years in the season with a ton to prove, and he's just hanging out on the sideline. Hopefully the kid's ready come September. I won't doubt Staley until I have a reason to, but can't lie and say I don't feel a way about this. As far as special teams is concerned, I feel like the punt team did a pretty decent job tonight. Nothing really stood out negatively for the most part. But outside of the whole KJ Hill thing, we just got to cut this out. I don't know if the point of tonight was to showcase how unathletic the dude was, but if it was, point proven. Let's just stop it. And we'll get to KJ Hill a little bit more later on when I give out my awards. Pretty sure you know which one he's going to get. And then you got Mr. Sandbagger himself. That's right. I almost called him Money Badger. Mike Badgley. He hasn't earned that nickname back. Dude hit from 50, made his extra point, and looks like a kickoff or two made it into the end zone. Not sure where this is going to go, but we shall see. And let's just go ahead and cap this off with the award session, shall we? Certified Gangster is really hard to give out this week because, you got a couple dudes who showed up, like Forrest Merrill. He flashed. And, other than that, Nick Neiman made some really good plays, and then he had some bad ones. But, let's just go ahead and softball this one up to Forrest Merrill. The What We Ain't Gonna Do award. Ooh, this is easy. Hey, KJ, silver platter. This one's for you, guy. We got to stop this. What we ain't going to do is keep tossing that dude out there on speed sweeps, bubble screens, end arounds, play actions where he's running crosses, trying to outrun dudes to the edge. Stop that immediately. Other than that, there is something, guys, that I feel like I need to go ahead and do and just get it off my chest because it seems like it's inevitable at this point. It's a shame. But got to do what I got to do. Hey, Google, play My Heart Will Go On by Celine Dion. An Ode to Joe. When the Bolts drafted you, I was enthralled. Oh, the possibilities. Imagine them all. Jet sweeps, bubble screens, a Debo Samuels style brute. But then came the Niners practice, and you showed up in a boot. The last regime misused you. So in this season, I had so much faith. I still remember the Week 7 TD versus the Jags. You put a smile on the Grinch's face. But now you've gone missing, and I have no clue why. It's clear you aren't long for this roster, and I'll have to say goodbye. Though I hope you find success with another squad, it surely will annoy. My heart must go on, but you will always be. You'll always be my special boy. Okay, now that I've had an opportunity to get myself together, here's my question for the week. To my boys, Kev, Coach, Dub D, how many wins do you think a healthy Derwin James is worth to this team this year? If 2018 was any indication, then his presence is invaluable. And I don't mean just from a performance standpoint. The guy's a leader, and he may actually be the heart and soul of this defense. Just look at the subsequent 2 injury-marred seasons following his rookie campaign. No secret, something was clearly missing. So throw a number out there at me. What are you thinking? 2, 3, 4 plus? Give me what you got. Until next time, good people, you all know what it is. Bolt gang or do not bang. Okay, love ya. Bye-bye.
Dude, I can't get over how cool he is. It's annoying how cool he is.
He comes up with the best nicknames.
And he can write poems. I didn't know you could write poems.
He's a writer.
Who would have known it?
That shit was good.
That was the best segment I think that you've had so far, man. That was bringing the heat. That was all good, all great points.
Yeah,
all stuff that us dummies forgot to bring up about the game.
Very
it
true.
Was so
yeah.
funny. It was so funny, Kyle. When we were watching it, he's like, "Yep, he's right. No, he's right.
That's a good
he's
point.
right. That's right. That's a good point.
Yep, that's it. Yep, Badgley. Yep,
yeah, all of it. Good point. So yeah, what is Derwin James worth record wise? I think he puts us 4 to 6. I think you could easily get 8 out of Herbert by himself, and then that takes us to 12, 14.
I think any of those 1-score games that we lost last year, I think he's good for.
So that's at least
good
5
for 3 points. You know, yeah. I think 4 to 5 games. I think 4 is being. That's big. That's a lot of games for one guy to cover up. I'd say 4 games he's worth if he's healthy and playing the whole season. I think 4 games. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Like that. Do you guys feel like watching this defense that we're going to have a different feeling at the end of games where we're not going to be like, oh, we have a lead, but we're screwed now? I just don't feel that with this defense at all. Like if we can get a lead, we're going to hold it. I feel that.
I just think that this watching preseason football really sucks. It really like as a fan, you are just being drained and pulled in so many emotional directions. Like, okay, our defense look good, but God, this offense sucks. But those aren't our starters. And when we get our starters, then we'll be better. But if we get hurt, that means these guys have to play. It's like
these fools are coming in.
It's such an
glass case of emotion.
It really is a glass case of emotion that's ready to collapse at any second.
Right.
But I'm so excited for, like you said, Kev, like there's the mentality of, we're up by 10 with 5 minutes to go, but that doesn't matter because they're going to go down and score, and then we'll get the ball back and run 3 times, and then they'll get the ball back and score again. So, but I feel like that's just that aspect of our team is going to be so different that it's going to be really, really fun. The other thing on this last segment, Craig, the Badgley kickoff things, I didn't know Badgley could kick off.
I didn't know either.
None of us so did. Bad.
Yeah.
I thought they never let him do it. I thought he was so bad that he was just going to shank it out of bounds. The guy's putting it through. He had like 3 touchbacks. I legit thought it was going to be like Charlie Brown when he went out there to try to kick a kickoff. It's like you have to be bad if they're making the punter do it. I just didn't know how bad it really was, but that wasn't bad. He had like 2 touchbacks.
And I will say, if we're talking about kickers and the special teams, like it was an improvement over last week for sure. There was an incremental improvement from last week to this week. That's the progress we want.
So kickers looked good from a special teams perspective. That was not good again.
Not as bad.
KJ Hill's not the guy. He's not a return guy. He's not. That's not it. We can't do it anymore. I don't know why we returned kickoffs. We started the game off taking it out of the end zone, and we got the ball at the 15. We ended up getting a safety because we had such bad field position because we just cannot return a punt or kickoff.
Yeah, KJ Hill is not the guy.
He's not the guy.
Craig
That's
said.
not it. Yeah, we had a different return guy almost every single punt. And
pretty much,
until the end there.
Yeah.
So it's still. I mean, Jalen Guyton was back there for one.
He did.
And the kick coverage, like the punt coverage and kick coverage, was better though. You got to give me that at least.
One of them was not, but
yeah, it was not. It was a little bit better.
All right, I'm on my own. It's okay.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was interesting that, you know, the only person that we saw do kicks was Badgley. We didn't even get a chance to see Vizcaino.
Yeah, because we couldn't get close enough to do shit. Like, he probably was the guy in the second half, but we couldn't get close enough to do anything.
Right.
So he just a wasted game for the Volcano.
Hopefully, hopefully next game we get to see at least Vizcaino try to make some attempts. But Craig, man, you brought in some great points, and you tugged at our heartstrings with your Joe Reed poem. I mean, we don't know what we got until it's gone, and chances are he's going to be gone in the not too distant future. So, yeah, Joe, we hardly knew you. But
it's sad, but that's the problem. Is like I've not seen him do anything.
Yeah, it's an unfortunate situation. But yeah, let's move on now to our next segment. Ask Boltfam.
Time to put your money where your mouth is.
Hi, guys. Go jam a thumb up his butthole. That's what you do. I wet myself in excitement.
Oh, so hungry.
Your thoughts are like totally appreciated.
Catch you later, dude.
Okay, love you, boy.
All right. That's right, folks. It's time for Ask Boltfam, and we have lots of questions this week, 19 to be precise. We started off with the Chargers nerd, a.k.a. Daniel, who asked the question. I discovered that Lyndon King is my favorite old-school Charger while watching the Epic in Miami last weekend with the Charger Chat's own Bobby Caldrone. Who is each of your random favorite old-school Chargers? Voice, he requested Don. I'm not familiar with this guy. Don Cricky? Help me. All right, you guys are no help. All right, favorite Cricky. Favorite old-school Charger. I know that you guys have some for sure.
I'm going to go Dan Fouts. He was amazing. Great quarterback. He's a little crazy now and a little sleepy. He doesn't want to call games all the way till the end, which was kind of funny. He's like, guys, why are we doing? Did you hear on that game? Guys, why are we still here? I could be going to sleep right now. Did you hear him say that on the broadcast? It was amazing.
I did, yeah. He was pretty cranky near the end.
Besides cranky old Dan Fouts, young, virile Dan Fouts was pretty awesome. So I'll go Dan Fouts.
There you go.
Okay. It's hard to go like random players. There's a couple. I think a guy that I would like to have back right now is Tim Dwight. If you remember a Tim Dwight, little return guy that was he was like the OG Edelman, and he was on the Chargers. Igor Olshansky, I'll throw out. He had the best name ever, and he was terrifying. I remember seeing him at the gym one time at LA Fitness. I was a freshman. Dad took me to the gym to lift a little bit, and I had like 135 on the bar, and I was like, all right, Igor's right there. We got to get this up, Dad. You better spot me good. And I got stuck in my leg. My leg like shot out straight. Trying to get it up.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, that was pretty embarrassing. Igor definitely saw. But yeah, I think Igor Olshansky has the best name in Chargers history.
That's a mean man right there.
With that name.
But I do remember loving Tim Dwight, and watching that little guy just speedster around the field was fun.
Absolutely. Yeah. Old school for me really doesn't go too far back. So considering our kicking woes, I'd love some John Carney right now.
That's a good pull. That's a good pull. I like that.
Carney's the best.
I actually like Bennett too. The Australian rules football player who used to make close arm tackles.
Yeah.
He would mess people up. I'm changing mine to Darren Bennett. Sorry.
Okay, there you go.
Good answer. Good answer.
Good answers across the board. Thank you, Chargers nerd, for asking the question. We move on now to Nick, who asked the question.
Who are you expecting to show up in the Niners game? Who is the most at risk of not making the roster if they don't prove themselves as things stand? Donkey!
And you can see behind the scenes, we asked for this question before the game, so not your fault, Nick. Defense huge, but yes, this is a lot easier to answer now.
It is a lot easier. So, I mean, as far as who we expected to show, I mean, did we have anybody prior to the game happening that we expected to show up?
I didn't even know who was going to play, honestly. Yeah. So that was the question. It was like, it was the quarterback battle or the kicking battle. Those were the two that I was looking at, and we didn't get much from the quarterbacks, and we only saw one kicker. So it was kind of a weird
we also
mismatch.
saw Pipkins lose his job.
Yeah, he's gone.
Yeah.
I feel bad, dude. Do you know he just had a baby the day before that happened?
He'll have a lot more time at home with his kids.
He's going to make a lot more babies.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sure he hopefully he invested his money well. He made some money. Go get a normal job and spend time with his kids.
There you go. That's all we can ask for here at the Charger Chat. Love you.
Bye.
All right. Well, thank you, Nick, for asking the question. We move on now to Will Da Beast, who asked the question. If each of you could be the GM of the Chargers for a day, what would you most want to address or change about the Chargers as a team and organization? Whether it's to sign or release specific players, emphasize a certain type of general philosophy, or rebrand the team, etc. All right. Gay, love you. Bye. Golly. There you go. Had to throw in a golly. That's my Justin Herbert.
Golly. my first order of operations is to fire Trey Pipkins. That's my first order of operations. After that, I am, I'm pretty loosey-goosey. I'm open to whatever Staley wants, but no, I'm not taking any insight or any, hey, what should we do with Pipkins? No, he's gone.
No, he gone. Not even a question.
No, he gone.
He gone. All right. Well, Kevin's making big strides as a GM for a day. He's just going to fire one person and one person
You fire
only.
one, everyone looks at you more like, whoa, he means business. That was a third-round pick. This guy will do anything.
He means business. He won't be here tomorrow, but he means business today.
Yeah, today.
All right. Yeah, so GM for a day. Boy, I mean, it feels like they're already changing the culture in the right direction. I don't know that there's necessarily anything major that I would want to step in and dramatically change in the opposite way. Maybe, bring down some beer prices so they're not, $15 a pop. And
so we can get a proper buzz at this game.
Yeah, I'd like to be able to afford my beverages when I go to the opening game at SoFi Stadium. Please and thank you. As GM for a day, I decree lower beer prices. There we go. That's all I got.
By the way, this is certified fresh for sure.
Oh, absolutely. Certified fresh. Any big changes from you there, Kyle?
No, I don't know. I don't think our GM's doing a good job. I don't have any big critiques or things that I think should be done drastically different. There's a couple of guys that I think we missed on, and it's time to just cut ties with. The Pipkins, just cut. I know you took a shot. You hoped it would pay off. It didn't. It's time to move on. That's a bummer, but I don't think there's anything huge. I think you hired the right coach. I think we all agree, no matter how poorly the game went against the Niners, we still believe in the coach that we have. I guess cheap beer would be better. Even if it's just cheaper types of beer. I feel like they only get the fancy ones. So that's why it's so expensive.
There you go.
Get the old fashioned. What just happened?
Technical difficulties, folks. Technical difficulties. Sorry about that.
It's all part of the game.
Yeah, we're doing live. Fuck it. We'll do it live. All right.
And then no opposing fans. I saw a lot of
There
red.
you go. There you go.
I saw a lot of red.
Don't let them in.
I'll go straight ownership. That's not really a GM call. I guess that's more of an owner call. But no opposing fans allowed. If you even have red, security is going to come and remove you from the stadium.
Ooh, there you go.
What if you just you made them take off their jersey and throw it in like a fire bin?
Yes.
And then they have to walk in with no shirt on. So it's like shirts versus skins.
It's the shame bell. You're ringing the shame bell at that point. Shame.
Shame.
All right. Well, there you go. Will DeBeast, thanks for asking the question. We move on now to Efren Abarca, who asked the question. Are you going to watch Top Gun before next episode there, Coach? If you do, tell us what did you like and what didn't you like about it. All right, Top Gun, Coach. Did you give it a spin? Did you give it a whirl?
I still haven't watched it. I will watch it on the flight home, though.
There you go.
I'll make a point to watch it.
Good.
I do. The only part that I do know about the movie is an epic volleyball montage.
There is an epic volleyball
montage. That's like burned into my mind. I haven't even seen the movie, but I've seen that part because
it's such a part of pop culture.
Epic.
Yeah, you can't not know it.
It's like Kenny Loggins.
There you go.
Hanging with the boys. It is so. Like looking back on it, there's a lot going on in that scene.
High five.
Slow motion, smacking asses, the whole nine.
Yeah.
All right. Well, there you go, Efren. We'll check back in with Coach next episode. But now we move on to FNU VP,
Certified Fresh,
who asked the question.
Oi! What the f***, lads? You brothers in your hay for Justin Jackson shamelessly positive my fucking bullets. This man has elite vision and is a gamer. I get he's fucking hurt, but lay the fuck off.
Well, I didn't see a question mark in any of that there, FNUVP, but
more of a statement.
But,
hey,
yeah.
we felt it. It came from your heart.
Good
I
point.
feel it. Yeah.
It came from your fucking heart.
It came from your fucking heart. All right.
I will lay off Justin Jackson when he can play a full game without limping off the field. That's what I want him to be successful. We want him to be successful.
We do.
We shamelessly, positively want that Steelers game Justin Jackson every week.
Every week.
He just cannot stay on the field. And I don't know how you can have a guy that you're going to depend on that can't stay healthy.
Absolutely.
I really do think that Northwestern just took all the good yardage and sucked it out of his body. And now he doesn't have anything left.
It's a possibility. I mean, it's the same way that with Michael Badgley. Like, we want the Michael Badgley that set the record with the Chargers kicking the longest field goal ever. I want that Badgley every game. And when we don't get it, you can't help but be at least minorly frustrated. And so, yeah, we're going to step on his bollocks a little bit, FNUVP. I'm sorry. We love him. We love him, but sometimes it's tough love.
I do think that it's hard that he had such a big breakout game, and now that's where he set his expectations. You know, like that's what we expect from him. And if he's below that at all or not performing at that level, we're like, what are you doing? You
what
could
happened?
Be that good. Yeah, exactly.
Do the thing that you did. We saw you do it. Do it again.
Do it again. Do it again, dude. Do it again, dude. Do it again, dude.
All right. There you go. FNUVP. We'll try to keep it more shamelessly positive going forward.
Thanks for joining us, by the way.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Thank you for the comments.
Welcome.
We do appreciate it. We move on now to another old favorite of ours, Tyler Foffey.
Foster.
Good old Foffey, who asked the question, how do I keep from picking a Chargers player in every round of my fantasy draft? Caleb, you buy. Wilson! What are we going to do now? Wilson! All right. That's my Tom Hanks from Castaway.
The requests are really
very specific sometimes.
Very specific. I love it.
Yeah, if you're me, you just got to embrace it, my friend. You just embrace that you have more Chargers.
You just do it. Yeah.
And
than
you just
anybody.
screw over your Charger-loving friends and do your thing.
Because
don't stop. Yeah, you don't. How do I keep from picking a Charger in every round? If a good one's available, you do it.
You pull that trigger, buddy.
Herbert's going to be slinging to everybody.
Yeah.
Okay?
Everybody. Yeah. You might have a bad bye week, but it's 1 week, buddy. All right? The rest of the weeks are going to be fucking solid, okay?
Bad bye week, buddy.
You take the L and you kick everybody else's ass. Yeah. All right? That's what you do, Tyler. Thank you for asking the question. We move on now to Renee the Dude 1986, who asks the salty question. Yeah, how they feel about Merriman on and off steroids. Which one did they like more?
Well, I like both. I like the one that played and wasn't kicked out of the...
I like the Pro Bowl one.
I like the Pro Bowl one. Which one was that? I like that one.
Yeah. Whichever one got a lot of... hit the quarterback a lot. That's the one I want.
None of my business how he got all those sacks. I just like how
none of my business.
It's none of my business.
You do what you got to do.
Yeah.
Tackle the quarterback, all right?
Yeah. You do it. Like. You ask for forgiveness, not permission. That's what I've always been told. So
that's
do
how
your
Kevin
thing.
has lived his life. Ask for forgiveness,
not permission. Episode title.
Words to live by. Yes, absolutely. Thank you, Renee the Dude, 1986. Certified fresh for asking the question. We move on now to D. Jeebs.
The D is silent.
Right. Who said
damn
Jeebs?
it, Adam.
Jeebs.
Damn it, Adam.
Jeebs. Who asked the question?
Silent.
Sam Jax is back. Disclaimer, motherfucker that noise. What's got 2 thumbs in his back with these motherfuckers? This motherfucker. I'm about to break that sense of bullshit gadget y'all motherfuckers got, motherfuckers. Y'all motherfuckers see that motherfucker tranquil or mic'd up motherfucker looks juiced up. Looking more like Tranquil's motherfucker is jacked. All right, motherfuckers, that motherfucking game was bad because we lost, but motherfuckers. Do we have a motherfucking opportunistic defense, motherfuckers? How many motherfucking times have we been inches from would-be motherfucking turnovers these past motherfucking years? Sam Jackson ain't motherfucking worried. From the motherfucking reports from the joint practices and how our motherfucking number 2s played, we'd own these motherfuckers motherfuckers. Also, can we motherfucking please put this motherfucking Project Pipkins to a motherfucking end? This sucker motherfucker's gonna get motherfuckers killed. All right, motherfuckers. That's it from this motherfucker. Fuck shit, fuck shit, motherfucker, shit. Fuck shit, fuck you, censorship. Oh yeah. And fuck motherfucking Raiders. Caleb, you bye, motherfuckers. Sam Jack's out.
Oh, Jeeves. Jeeves strikes again.
He swooped in, dropped the motherfucker, and flew out.
The silent D strikes again.
The silent D.
Gotta watch out for the silent D.
I don't think I've ever seen the word motherfucker written so many times in one paragraph.
There was quite a few. It's gonna be, yeah, the censor deal, that's me, okay, Jeeves. So you just made him like you gave me an extra 10
work.
Yeah. Thank you, Jeeves. Appreciate you.
He broke you.
Oh,
awesome.
Okay, so specifically his mentions were Tranquil and Pipkins and how well we were looking, and yeah, I mean, what else can you say? Jeeves put it pretty clearly and succinctly.
Please put this motherfucking Project Pipkins to a motherfucking end.
Yeah.
I could not agree with you more.
We all agree with you, Jeeves. 100%.
Yep. Bye.
Bye, Jeeves. All right.
Bye,
Jeeves.
Appreciate it, Jeeves. Now let's move on to Get Some Sports, who asked the question.
What do you feel is the biggest position challenge for the team to cut down besides the kicker battle, of course, LOL?
Yeah, the wide receiver room there's a lot going on. And honestly, man, this defensive line room, like Forrest Merrill, like where did he come from? Like Braden Fajoko played well. Like there's a lot of dudes that are on that interior defensive line that, wow, like who are they going to go with?
That was one of the positions that we all kind of were worried about the most with this transition and shift into this new defense. And after the preseason, that's like the one position I feel pretty okay about with depth. I think that the D line is a solid position group. Yeah, the biggest position challenge for the team to cut down. It's going to be hard. It's quarterback, I think, is due carry 2 or 3, and who's the 2? And wide receiver, I think, is slowly becoming more and more obvious as to who the fat that needs to be trimmed. But yeah, there are, I don't know, every position is tough, man. Running back, quarterback, I think, who you keep on in the safeties because of special teams and so on and so forth. There's still a lot of stuff, that movement that's going to happen here before we get going against Washington.
It's going to be a heavy day when they cut down to that 53, man. It's going to be
I feel like I've not been so invested in the 3s and the 4s as I am this year.
Yeah,
like watching the preseason game, I know all the guys' names that are down there. I can't say that's always been the case.
Absolutely.
Agree.
It's going to be hard to see those guys cut.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think the running back one is going to be the toughest the toughest pill to swallow, because I think we like all those guys, including Justin Jackson when he can be healthy. So I think when we see how thinly that side of the ball gets cut down, I think that might be those might be some tough decisions that are going to have to be made for those guys. But we'll see as it happens. Thank you, Get Some Sports, for asking the question. We move on now to Justin Sabercool. Good old Justin, who asked the question.
Yeah, shoot. Howdy, partners. Who's the biggest Charger fan amongst you guys? Keep up the awesome work and love you, bye.
All right.
Voice. Can we give that voice a name? Have we given that voice a name?
I've always, because I make a list of all the voices that I want to use. I always call him the minor 49er. That's
49er done.
He's my minor 49er. There's gold up in them there hills.
That sounds like the guy from also Toy Story. What's the mean guy with that pickaxe? That is the shoot. You guys don't know.
I know who you're talking about. It was Kelsey Grammer who played it, but yeah, he was like the bumbling, like, oh, my butt's on fire. Like, he was a goofy little minor, but
Okay.
as far as the biggest fan,
that's hard.
I think we are. I almost, in my heart, I feel like we are one fan now.
Oh, interesting take.
Charger Chat is a fan. Like my fandom is equal, and it goes up and down based on your guys' fandom and excitement. Because we're texting all the time about what we're seeing, and it's almost like our fanhood is intertwined.
It's an amalgamation, if you will.
I think I'm the biggest fan for sure. Just kidding.
Kyle trying to give the sweet answer.
Sweet, yeah,
no, I agree. I think our fan, like we all are super fans, but like doing this every week and interacting with other Charger fans, it's gotten to like a really crazy level of fandom. I can't really explain it.
Yeah, I've certainly been sucked into the fandom a lot harder than I have been in the past. I knew that would make you laugh.
Sucked harder.
Sucked into the
partner, and because of being a part of the Charger Chat, like I'm now more invested into areas of this team that I've never been invested in the past, or at least haven't been nearly as much. So yeah, I think good answer, Coach. But
we're the three-headed monster.
Yeah, three-headed fan. Excellent. All right, thank you for asking the question, Justin Sabercool. We move on now to Zach Marincic, who asked the question. John Brannon or Tavon Campbell? It's a good question.
Good, Coach. Who you got?
That's hard. Yeah, that's good because Brandon had that pick in week 1. And that was a big time play. But Campbell had a couple of really big plays here in the last week. So I don't know, man. That's why I'm glad I'm not
Campbell
a GM having to make those.
Who had the pick in the second game? It was Asante and
it was Campbell. I thought
Campbell. I thought had the other pick. So you've got two guys with two.
It's hard to tell. I think he's got the long hair, so you can't see his name all the time. That's
right.
Yeah.
So you've got two guys that have made picks in the preseason. But Tavon Campbell.
Honestly, yeah, it's going to come down to who the coach likes the most.
There you go. That's fair.
Which of those guys does more on special teams?
There you go.
I don't know if I've paid close enough attention to be able to see. They obviously both have upside of playmaking ability. I just haven't paid attention enough to what they're doing on special teams to see, because I think that'll be a lot of these guys, a lot of these positions outside of quarterback and stuff. You make the team based on what you do on special teams. So I don't know. I think that's a great question. I think I'm going to watch which one of those guys has more contributions in special teams in week 3.
I like it. All right. Well, there you go, Zach. The opinions of the coach speak for the rest of us here at Charger Chat. We move on now to Supercharger, a.k.a. Mike Modlin, our future Bolt history guy, who's got a question, and it goes something like this.
With only 3 preseason games this year, shut up, let me ask. And the craziness of going from 90 to 53, how do you each see this affecting teams pro and con? Raiders, yeah.
All right, he asked for Raiders fans' drunk girlfriend who's escalating the situation.
We saw one of those.
There you go. I'm sure.
I think it's like what our coach is doing right now, which some of the other teams aren't, is we're actually giving these guys an opportunity. We're not starting those starters. We're giving people a chance to run through and get some reps. So I think it might be easier in some ways than previous years because you're actually seeing these guys play more. You know, they're getting better opportunities.
Yeah, I agree. I think due to only having 3 games and more guys, you are getting obviously no reps for R1s, and it almost makes it an easier decision to go that route because you don't have a lot of plays to figure out who those guys are that are going to actually make the team.
Yeah, I think it speaks to Staley getting these guys invested in him to play as well as they have been, at least as we've seen in this preseason. I think it's going to be pretty devastating for a lot of these guys. I mean, it's devastating enough to get cut from a team, but I think to get cut from somebody that you believed in and you truly wanted to be a part of, I think is going to be devastating for them. But I think it's also going to be easier to get some of these guys back should we endure any type of injuries or anything like that. But it also could give them the opportunity to play with other teams as well if they're playing as well as they are for us, to go on to other pastures. So it's going to be interesting. As Kyle mentioned earlier, it's going to be interesting to see these guys get cut down to 53 for this team. There's a lot of guys, and a lot of guys who we've come to know their names and how well they've played. So we'll see how it all goes. But thank you, Supercharger, for asking the question. We move on.
See you Friday.
See you Friday, Mike Modlin. We move on now to Andre Robles. Andre Robles, certified fresh, who asked the question. When the Chargers defense goes onto the field for the first time this season against Washington, who do you see starting at edge opposite Bosa? I'm asking you a question. All right. That was my best Major pain on short notice.
Tough one.
It's fine.
It's a good movie. Watch it.
Yeah.
Good.
All right.
I like Fackrell, dude. I like Fackrell. I like what I'm saying.
Really? Over Nwosu?
I don't know. I just kind of like the Fackrell. Like, I don't know. He's got a similar kind of style to Bosa. I don't know what it is. They're just big, long guys. And he's going to be a problem. I'm really excited we picked him up because he's doing some work in the preseason games.
Yeah, he's definitely better than a backup. You know what I mean? Like when you see him in there with the twos, he's better than everybody. Mm-hmm. So I'm really excited for Fackrell, but I think Nwosu is gonna get the nod at least to start the year. I think he has that kind of a little bit more of that ability to play as a guy that drops into coverage and a guy that can get off the quarterback. I think he's more dynamic. So I think it will be Nwosu and Bosa on the as the edge defenders, as we call them.
Yep, those certainly seem to be the two guys whose names are in the talk. But we'll see how it all goes. But thank you, Andre Robles, for asking the question. We move on now to Daniel Wallen, who asked the question. Oh, Danny boy.
Shit.
Okay, potato chips, mahalo, right? Just checking to get your predictions here on one non-rookie surprise cut at the end of camp. So no Joe Reed money marmot kicker answers, because it has to be a legit surprise. And for the positivity, one non-expected roster bubble edition. All right, okay, later, dudes.
All right.
It's easy for me. I'll give him real quick.
Yeah, we've been saying his name all episode.
Trey Pipkins and Forrest Merrill is gonna make
that's what I was gonna say too. Forrest Merrill, I really think he might make the squad. I do
too.
I think he's gonna have dude, he's fun to watch.
That
big man is just a bowling ball.
And he's got like that big, like chubby face. Like when they come to him and he like barely fits in his helmet. He's like, it's amazing.
Come in, coach.
Yeah. I'm gonna mess people up. Yeah. Don't make me do science on people. I'll do it.
All right. Well, there you go. I think it's a unanimous decision there, Daniel, on who we think is going to stay and who we think is going to go. But thank you for asking the question, Pro Chacha.
Love you, bye.
All right. Let's move it on now to Joe Fernandez, who asked the question. Do you think Parham could potentially be used like Jimmy Graham? I wouldn't rule it out.
Graham was a dominant pass catcher for a long time. He's trailed off since, but
right.
I don't see why not. Parham has a lot of similar attributes: big, tall guy, good route runner. So that's kind of lofty because he's kind of he's a Pro Bowler. But hey, positivity.
Well, I guess the comparison's brought because Jimmy Graham's best years was when he was on the Saints, right?
Yeah.
When he was in that offense that we're now starting to become more similar to because of our offense coordinator. So, yeah, I think absolutely he could be used in that role. And even every game he's being used more and more and being thrown to. And we don't have the guy like the Hunter Henry this year. So there's going to be a lot more opportunity for Parham to be able to spread his wings, so to speak.
Yeah, I think the addition of Cook, I think, might take away some of those targets that Parham might have gotten. But I think he's built up enough chemistry with Herbert that is absolutely a possibility. We won't rule it out here at the Charger Chat. We'll stay shamelessly positive. So thank you for asking the question, Joe Fernandez. We move on now to Mac Huber, who asked the question.
After watching the All-In trailer, I want to run through a wall for this team, and I don't even play. I'm so hyped for this team. What would it take for this team to make a run at a chip this year?
We didn't even talk about that trailer, dude. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my God. The guys that did the backstage Chargers, which was great. It was like Phil's last year. They did that. This is like a full on, this looks better than Hard Knocks.
Yeah.
Oh, easily.
It's going to be sick.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, it's better because it's our team.
Yeah.
And just our team.
Only.
And nothing else. Yeah.
Yeah. It's every week. I think the backstage was like every other week. I think if I heard it correctly, this is like an every week documentary they're producing. So
wow.
Oh, fuck. I'm so excited.
Yeah, I can't wait. Yeah, we've seen so much of Staley in interview form, which has been fantastic. He's given great interview answers, but we've not seen a lot of him doing his job.
We're gonna throw the ball down the fucking field.
Yeah.
yeah, that was cool.
And what was the other thing he said? I don't be casual. I hate casual. Like I can't stand that shit. So like seeing Staley fired up, I mean, he's getting fans bought into him as much as he's getting players bought into him as well. So
for sure,
adding this all in is just going to have us be so much more bought in that, as Max said, like we're all going to be running through walls pretty soon here. So
same feeling, dude. I'm on the same page with you.
Absolutely.
For sure. I think we're primed and set up to make we're set up to be a playoff team. I have no doubt in my mind. The question is how far we can go. And I think that has everything to do with health. I think you keep Derwin James healthy, you keep Justin Herbert healthy, you keep all of our studs healthy. You see what our back end, second, third string guys are capable of doing. I think there's some guys that could step up. So keep those really special guys healthy, and I think we're going to be in really good shape.
Yeah, activate every day. Am I right?
Activate.
It's all about health. If we can stay healthy, we got the talent.
Yeah,
100%.
We can absolutely be dangerous. So looking forward to this season and looking forward to watching All In as well. Mac Huber, thanks for asking the question. We move on now to our fan focus, Coach Lago.
Coach Lago!
Hey, who asked the question? This draft class looks like it could be a special one. Slater, Samuel, Palmer, Roundtree, and James are all showing pedigree. Throw in the good things we've heard about McKitty, Rumpf, and Webb. Exciting, special. Moi, tu Ninja Tommy. Now you earn your pay. Which of these young men earn a second contract with the Bolts? And which one is the most celebrated player when that time arrives? Nostrovia. Smoking a cigar.
A good question. This is a good question because just for me, Samuel and Palmer, like, they seem like the guys are going to be battling, but I'm going to I think they could both get contracts, but I'm kind of leaning into Palmer right now. Like the dude just gets open. He just gets open. I'm excited to see him pair up with Keenan Allen and all of our tight ends and all of the rest of our wide receivers. So I'll lean into Palmer on this one. I'm very excited about him.
I think the only guy on that list that I don't see as getting a second contract because of his position is Roundtree. We draft a running back every year. So it's like, there's never, every single year we draft one. So it's like, you're never going to re-sign them because you just always have guys on their rookie contract and you don't pay them a lot. So, but other than that, like Slater, Asante Samuel, Palmer, even Hymus, like they're all having great rookie offseason so far.
Right.
I could see all of them being a big part of it. So yeah, I don't know.
And the good thing about Hymus too is like he's been like the top graded PFF like rookie lineman we've had besides Slater on our team. Like he's like really highly graded. So he's doing well. He hasn't given up any pressures last game. He's like the one lineman on our line that didn't give up a pressure last game or something like that.
I like it.
So it's exciting, man. Hopefully he can step up and become that, replace a certain person.
Well, I think Slater is going to be the one that gets the contract sooner than anybody else, just because of how well he's played and how important that position clearly is for this team. So
you can see the fall off when he's not in there, for sure.
Big time. Yeah. We got to lock him down. Tommy, lock him down.
A little early, but yes.
Lock him down.
Just give him the extension now.
Just do it now.
Give him the car. All right. Thank you, Coach Lago, for asking the question. We go out of Ask Boltfam with I'm allergic to jerks.
Yes.
Love him. Who asked the question? Philip Rivers is dead. We all know this, but he isn't with us any longer, and Mom is ready to start dating again.
Oh, God.
Of these options, who would you choose as your new stepdad? Austin, Derwin, Joey, or Keenan, and why? Don't cheat and add in the great Justin Herbert. There you go.
So if I got to pick my
you gotta
new
pick
dad,
a papa, new papa.
Sorry, Dave, you're still around and very much in love with our mom still. But hey, this is the hypothetical we got to roll with. I think, shit, Joey Bosa.
Okay.
Why?
Yeah, let's hear the why.
Because he just seems really cool.
Awesome.
I think
it's great to have a cool dad.
I could learn the double swipe from him.
You sure
I could learn how to like watch anime. I could learn because I haven't really done much of that.
He does seem very involved with the youth of the team.
He is. He's very sarcastic. I always am trying to improve that game. So I think he could make me a better man.
I like it.
I'm like 17 years old, like 15 years older than him or something. So, but whatever, it's fine. No big deal.
Yeah, it's weird because I'm older than all of these guys on these options.
Hi, Dad.
I've always wanted to be able to play an instrument, so I would want Keenan as my new
I like that.
What a pull!
He could help me learn piano.
Tickle the ivories.
Tickle the ivories.
Yes.
What about you, Bulldog? Who do you want your stepdad to be?
My stepdad. I would actually look at...
It's a platonic mirror.
They don't actually touch each other.
No. Cool. I would want my new dad to be Austin Eckler.
The way you said that is amazing.
Just straight to the point. My new dad. Hey, Santa, this year I want my new dad to be Austin Eckler.
And I want it to be Austin Eckler. Please and thank you. Yeah, I mean, just given how hard he has worked to get to the position that he is, never gets down, always strives to push hard, push further, and be the best regardless of whatever's happening around him. I think he could teach a lot of great lessons to a young me.
And he's the only one on that list that's been on our show.
That's very true. 100%. So, Joey, Keenan, get on it. We want you.
He's got the best odds of actually being one of our dads.
I think Joey would honestly, the Italian vibe thing. I think he might protect my family and my mom better than most of those guys.
Okay, you've already made your sell, Kev. You don't have.
I'm selling hard.
Joey Bosa,
Kathy, I'd like to introduce you to Joey Bosa, your new husband.
My new papa.
Dad.
Bye, Dad. Love you, Dad.
Okay, love you. Bye, Dad. All right.
Bye, Dad.
That is it for us here at Charger Chat for this fantastic episode, folks. Don't forget to bolt up because we're ready for any squad, any place.
Kid, love you. Bye.
Mahalo.
Kid, love you. Bye.
Go to the beach, Kyle. Go to the ocean.
And now, a word from our sponsors.
What's wrong, little Susie? Have you lost your daddy? Do you need a new one? Why not a Charger? That's right. If you need a daddy and you need it fast, come on down to the Charger-sponsored Who's Your Daddy dating service. We've got eligible bachelors on the team, and some might be looking to adopt. Whether you're 7 or 37, if you need a new daddy, then call up Who's Your Daddy dating service and get yourself a new Charger daddy today.